For years, saving money felt impossible to me. Not because I was lazy, not because I didn't care, but because every time I tried to save, life happened. Unexpected bills, impulse spending, stress, emergencies. And somehow, my savings always disappeared. At one point, I genuinely believed I was just bad with money, until I discovered one simple system that changed everything. Not overnight, but consistently. And honestly, the system itself wasn't revolutionary. The real difference was psychological. Because for the first time in my life, saving money stopped depending on motivation and started depending on structure. That single shift changed everything. Most people think saving money is about discipline. Just spend less. Avoid unnecessary purchases. Be more responsible. Simple. At least that's what everybody says. But if saving money were really that simple, millions of people wouldn't struggle with it constantly. That's something I learned the hard way. Because I tried everything. Budgeting apps. Spreadsheets. No spending challenges. Tracking every dollar. And every single time, I eventually failed. Not dramatically. Quietly. A little overspending here, a stressful week there. Then suddenly, my savings were gone again. And honestly, the worst part wasn't losing money. It was losing confidence in myself. Because every failed attempt made me trust myself less financially. That's the hidden damage bad money habits create. Not just financial stress. Psychological stress. Every month started with good intentions. This month will be different. I'd make a plan. Set savings goals. Promise myself I'd stay disciplined. And for the first week or two, things usually went well. Then real life showed up. Stressful days. Unexpected expenses. Social events. Emotional spending. And slowly, the plan would collapse. What confused me was that I understood money logically. I knew saving mattered. I knew emergency funds mattered. I knew financial stability mattered. So why couldn't I stay consistent? That question frustrated me for years. Until eventually, I realized the problem wasn't knowledge. It was friction. Saving money required constant effort. Constant decisions. Constant self-control. And human beings are terrible at sustaining high-effort behaviors forever. Especially under stress. That realization changed how I approached money completely. One day, I noticed something interesting. My bills always got paid. Automatically. Rent. Subscriptions. Utilities. Those payments happened consistently without emotional debate. But savings? Savings depended on whatever money remained. And usually, nothing remained. That's when I realized something powerful. I had accidentally trained myself to treat savings as optional. That was the real problem. Saving wasn't built into my system. It depended entirely on motivation. And motivation is unreliable. Especially when life becomes stressful. That's when I made one simple change. I stopped saving manually. And started automating everything. The system was almost embarrassingly simple. The moment I got paid, a percentage automatically moved into a separate savings account. Before I could spend it. Before I could rationalize using it. Before emotions entered the decision. At first, the amount was small. Small enough that I barely noticed it disappearing. And honestly, that part mattered more than I expected. Because previous budgets felt painful. This system felt invisible. That's what made it sustainable. I wasn't forcing myself to be disciplined every day. I was removing the decision entirely. That single difference changed everything psychologically. Because the less decisions you force yourself to make around money, the less emotional fatigue you experience. And emotional fatigue quietly destroys financial consistency. See, this is something most people don't understand about saving money. Humans naturally adapt to whatever money feels available. If your account shows $2,000, your brain behaves differently than if it shows $1,500. even if the missing $500 went directly into savings. That's why automation works so well psychologically. You stop negotiating with yourself constantly. And self-negotiation is exhausting. Maybe I'll save next month. I deserve this purchase. I'll replace the money later. Those tiny internal conversations quietly destroy consistency. Automation eliminates those conversations completely. And consistency matters far more than intensity. That was one of the biggest financial lessons I ever learned. Small, consistent savings beat inconsistent motivation every single time. But surprisingly, the system didn't just change my savings. It changed my relationship with money itself. And that shift affected almost every financial decision I made afterward. Before this system, money always felt temporary. Like something that entered my account briefly before disappearing again. That creates financial anxiety. Because deep down, you stop trusting yourself. But when savings started growing consistently, even slowly, my mindset changed. For the first time, I felt stability. Not wealth. Stability. And stability changes behavior dramatically. You stop panicking over small emergencies. You stop feeling trapped constantly. You stop making desperate short-term financial decisions. That emotional breathing room matters more than people realize. Because financial stress affects everything. Sleep, confidence, relationships, mental clarity. And when that pressure decreases, life feels different. Not luxurious, just calmer. Looking back now, I think most people approach saving incorrectly. They try to save aggressively instead of sustainably. Huge goals, extreme restrictions, perfect budgeting, and eventually, they burn out emotionally. That's exactly what used to happen to me. I treated saving like punishment. But successful saving should feel almost boring. Automatic. Predictable. Repeatable. That's what creates long-term results. Not motivation. Systems. Because systems survive emotional inconsistency. Motivation doesn't. At first, my savings grew slowly. Honestly, painfully slowly, and part of me felt disappointed. I wanted dramatic progress. Fast results. Big numbers. But over time, something interesting happened. The habit became stronger than the amount itself. Saving stopped feeling unusual. It became normal. Identity-based. I became someone who saves automatically. That identity shift matters enormously. Because once behavior becomes part of identity, consistency becomes easier. That's why wealth building often looks boring from the outside. Most real financial progress happens quietly. Slowly. Repeated consistently over years. Not through dramatic overnight changes. Months later, I checked my savings account one morning and realized something strange. For the first time in years, money wasn't disappearing immediately. That feeling is difficult to explain. Not excitement. Relief. Relief that my financial life finally had structure. And honestly, that structure changed more than just my bank balance. It changed my confidence. Because every consistent action quietly proves something to yourself. It says, I can trust myself financially. That belief matters more than people think. Because once you trust yourself with money, better financial decisions become easier naturally. The system that helped me save consistently wasn't complicated. It wasn't some secret investment strategy. It wasn't extreme budgeting. It was removing emotion from the process. That's it. Because financial success often has less to do with intelligence, and more to do with creating systems that work even when motivation disappears. And motivation will disappear sometimes. That's normal. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is building a structure that survives imperfect days. That's what finally changed my financial life. Not discipline, not willpower. Systems. For years, I thought saving money required becoming a different person. More disciplined. More organized. More motivated. But eventually I realized something simpler. Good systems beat good intentions. Every time. Because intentions change with emotions. Systems continue quietly in the background. And honestly, that realization made money feel less overwhelming for the first time in my life. Not because I suddenly became rich, but because I finally stopped relying on motivation to protect my future. What's the hardest part about saving money for you? Impulse spending? Low income? Unexpected expenses? Comment below. Because sometimes realizing other people struggle with the exact same thing makes the process feel less impossible. And if you want more videos about money psychology, financial habits, and realistic wealth building, subscribe. Because financial freedom usually doesn't start with huge amounts of money. It starts with systems that quietly change your behavior over time.